Alrighty, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today for our Summit Insight webinar. First off, my name is Drew English. I am the Program Coordinator and Client Experience Associate here at the Exit Planning Institute, and I am joined today by Peter Hickey, the CEO and founder of MAUS Business Systems, who is calling in from Australia today, which it's 6:30 in the morning there. So Peter, thank you for waking up early and coming on for the call. Just a few things before I turn it over to Peter today. First, I'll give him a brief introduction, some background on him. But before I dive into that, a few housekeeping notes. First off, the webinar is being recorded. So the recording will be sent out to all of you later today. So just look for the recording from me and click to download the recording so you can listen to the clip in its entirety. Two, if you have any questions or comments during the presentation, please go ahead and type those in the question box, which is located on the drop-down menu of your GoToWebinar panel. That will alert myself that there's a question or a comment, and I will then facilitate those over to Peter. But for those of you joining us, as you know, our Exit Planning Summit is coming up in September, which is, according to our ticker, 131 days away. It is being held in Nashville, Tennessee on September 24th and 25th. You can check out the details, the speakers, the schedule, sponsors, everything like that on exitplanningconference.com. So we encourage you to go there and check out the website. But like I said, today we have Peter Hickey. He's the CEO and founder of MAUS Business Systems. He's been very active in buying and selling businesses his whole life, and he's had a passion for helping business owners achieve what he has achieved. He founded MAUS in 1990. He successfully built the company from a one-man business to a multi-million-dollar concern and sold it to a multi-billion-dollar publisher. After he sold it, he became a best-selling author and creator of a wide range of business tools published by MAUS. And about 5 years later, he decided to buy back the MAUS business. And since he's acquired that, he's also acquired several other businesses to add to the portfolio. But with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Peter, and he'll kind of dive into who MAUS is and kind of what to expect when he'll be at the summit in September. So, Peter, it's all yours.
Great. Thanks, Drew, for that. That was great. Yes. Hello, everybody. It's great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to the summit this year. I've been a SEPA since about 2008 or 2009. I can't remember which year when I did, but a long time ago, and really enjoyed the course when I went through the course. Loved the methodology and loved the people at the Exit Planning Institute for continuing to educate everybody on the exit and succession planning process. But to me, we have a whole array of software that we've developed. We sell software to SMEs, and we sell software to business advisors. We've sold over 60,000 units of software, and we've to the SMEs, and over 10,000 business advisors have got our tools. We also have some deep, high-level training programs, and we've got some real core methodologies. And I think what probably sets us apart as a company is that we try and dumb it down. We try and simplify it. So we try and create, if you like, all the complex methodologies that we learn at EPI and put it into a framework that's very easy to understand. It's very simple for a business owner to get their mind about. And that's I think, what we've got to understand, that the center of the universe for us as an advisor is not ourselves. Whether we're a wealth planner, an accountant, or an independent, the center of the universe for us, if we want to make money, is about the end user, the business owner. And what we really need to do is to focus on their journey, focus on what they're going through and helping them to try and build a dream. And that's where I find that this exit and succession planning is such a powerful process. And to me, we've had a network of advisors that we take through training, and we give them software and we send them out to the marketplace. And to me, this exit and succession planning process is the most important process for the business owner to understand and to go through, because it helps them to build that dream. But it's also the most powerful process for you as an advisor to sell advisory services or create referral work. And one of the things that I go through at the summit, we've always had a great tool, the ValueMax program, which is, and I'll show you a little bit of it and how the software works. It's a great all-encompassing tool that will go through and automate the exit and succession planning process. Because the biggest problem that you have as an advisor is that, and most of you have been through the CEPA course, most of you have got the deeper knowledge and understanding of exit and succession planning, but you don't know how to articulate that. You don't know how to get that across to the client. One of the keys to an advisory business is you need to sell yourself, and you need to sell yourself on a value-based process rather than hourly rates, and you need to sell on return on investment. Our software methodologies will help you to do that. We've just launched a new one, so you might have seen some information has come to us, and I've sent everybody on this call today a copy of a blank one-page exit plan. So I'm going to show you today just the highlights of how you can, in under 90 minutes, conduct a discovery process that could literally earn you hundreds of thousands of dollars in consulting revenue. And it starts off with just a simple framework, getting the business owner to engage with you. And so the problem is that, I find is that business advisors, we're not confident enough because we haven't articulated all the worldly knowledge we've got into a simple framework. And what we've discovered since we've developed this one-page exit plan is that it's simple, it's visual, it's enjoyable and easy to do, it's effective, and it starts to engage that business owner and starts to explain, because instead of you having to go and say, well, look, an exit and succession plan includes this and this and this and this, we can do the high-level explanation, but then we start to ask some questions. We ask some probing questions. And I'll show you, I was going to go through a detailed case study on this and show you the methodology, but I think after talking to Drew, it's more effective for me just to touch upon the highlights, to actually show the software, and then we can take up on this at a second more in-depth webinar or at the summit itself. We've got a couple of one-day certification courses, ValueMax certification courses, where we go through this methodology. But let me just show you how this works. So let's assume that John Smith is a stressed out business owner who's 57 years old and runs a $5 million manufacturing business. Now, John's just rung you up and said, can we set up a meeting? I've heard you're a CEPA. Now, you've just fronted up to that meeting. What are you going to say and what are you going to do? And this is the problem that we have as an advisor, is just structuring that conversation and then having a second phase follow-up and a process to convert that client or that prospect at this stage into a client. So if we start off on this as an example, the first thing we need to do is get John engaged. So John has made contact with us. We'd probably at this stage discuss what an exit and succession plan is. I see it's interesting that as we go through the course and we get educated that that exit planning includes your business value, your personal wealth, and your personal wellness before and after exit, we start to get a little bit shy and back away from using words like, have you ever thought of selling your business? Do you realize if you work on a plan 12 to 36 months out, your business could be double the value? So I still find that the most effective return on investment proposition you have is talking to a business owner about the business value and the business value growth over a period of time, and then mentioning that after you've hooked them on the return on investment of that, you then come back and say, but an exit plan is more than just selling your business for a lot of money. An exit plan also includes, your personal wealth, your strategies in your personal wealth, your strategies in your wellness. So what we've sort of found is we can talk about that, but as you know, as we go through them, there's lots of noise out there in the marketplace. We sort of get the highlights of it, but we don't understand the fundamentals. And if you then said to me, okay, well, look, how much is it going to cost? I'd be still thinking it's too much. So you have to physically show the return on investment. So we've got a value gap calculator that shows the potential value of the business now, the value of the business in the future, and it puts a number there. And it says, well, look, we're not going to do a valuation, but the value of your business now could be $1 mil to $2 mil. If you worked on a plan 12 to 36 months out and you grew profit and you reduced the risk to a potential purchaser, in other words, you increased the multiples that you're going to sell at, your business could be worth double or triple of what it is now. And look at the difference in that. So that's why you work with me as an advisor. So in order to have them understand that process, we've developed this discovery process. And this is the one-page exit plan. Now, when you look at it, and I've actually sent this to all of you, and you can, we've got a workbook you can buy on it, which is $25. We've got software that will go on, put this through. We've got another workbook, ValueMax, which is a more comprehensive guide. So you can get so the background of this in more detail, and we run seminars on this all the time. But let me just show you how it works. If you look at this one sheet of paper, now this is great. It looks simple to fill in. So when I present that to a business owner, I say, look, how about I demonstrate to you what an exit and succession plan is, what sorts of things that you're going to need to understand. And this is also a getting to know you process from my perspective as a business owner. So I want to get to know my client. So the first thing I'm going to start off with, if you look at this one page in its entirety, it's split up into 3 sections. The first section is the personal vision statement. And really it's sort of, John Smith, how old are you? 57. Now, we learned this from wealth planners. This is it's a psychological question. So if I put in, and this is especially when we're dealing with baby boomers, if I put in your age now in this process, and our software will automate this, but if I put in your age now, and I say you're going to sell in 3 years, that means your exit age is 60. And then I'm going to educate that that may not be the age that you're actually going to exit the business completely, because you may have an earnout. And a lot of business owners don't quite understand the earnout. So that means that your actually time to actually exit the business completely is going to be 62. So what I've just done is I've put the age, rather than focusing on this 3 years, I've now focused on your age. And that is a psychological driver. There's a psychological ticking clock that's going to help you to sell. I'm going to ask them, so we divide goals. We sort of say there's only 2 types of goals. And now you're thinking back to your academics of what are all the types of goals, are they SMART goals or whatever, but forget about all that. There's only 2 types of goals. There's educated goals and there's uneducated goals. And when I'm with a business owner to start off with in this discovery process, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to ask you questions. I want to find out a little bit about you by asking these questions. I want you to find out a little bit about yourself when I ask you these questions. And I don't want you to worry whether or not you actually know the answer 100% or not. I just want you to put something in this box at the moment. I want your best guess at the moment. And so that's interesting that you're getting them to think through what they think the current value is and what they think would be a good price to exit. And that's the starting frame, because this is really the first start to really getting them to the process of and a lot of them really haven't thought through these questions. We're going to sort of say, look, what's your exit option? There are 10 different exit options, but what do you see as your exit option? In that case, because we're at the first part of this process, I'd probably educate and pull up a slide on the different sort of exit options that they might have. And then I ask them, why do you want to exit? Do you want to retire? Do you want to buy another business, etc.? So in this first very powerful section, I've got really the who, how, and why of the exit. It's your personal vision statement. And that's a powerful overriding. Don't underestimate how powerful that is. And it's the first thing we're going to put back. And the psychological driver of the age, the psychological driver of seeing on a sheet of paper the difference between the value now and the value in the future. So the next part of this, the next process of this, I'm going to take the business owners through, and I'll take them through in this 90-minute process. Remember, I'll explain to them that there's educated and uneducated goals, and I'm going to get them to guess this. I'm going to ask them right now. Now, from a business advisor perspective, there's a couple of clever things we've done here. Notice how this says business value goals. Now, the reason why it says goals is because we're getting them to select their goals, obviously, but it's a liability clause. We do not want to be, most of you are not professional business valuers, and you don't want to become a professional business valuer. So by using the phrase goals, or the word goals, we're reducing our liability. And then the second part to this is that I'm actually asking the client what their revenue is now and what their profit is. And from here, I'm automatically, in my mind, categorizing them as an A, B, or C client. In other words, am I really want to work with this client? Is it really worthwhile? So sometimes we do this at workshops and seminars. We'll go through a couple of that. But, we might be running a workshop. We might be getting a client to fill in, getting business owners, group of business owners to fill this in, and then we can almost use it as a selective criteria of, well, how about we follow up with that particular business owner one-on-one, or if it's a small micro business of $500,000 or 800,000 or whatever, we probably choose not to follow it up. So it's a good sort of separation here. I think what's really important here is we go through this methodology, which is the ValueMax methodology, and without going into too much detail, what we do is we've got a whole series of assessments that we go through with the business owner. And one of the things that we go through is, if you imagine, and we'll educate here, that all businesses are sold on a range of multiples. So imagine if you've got a profit, so in this case, this business has got a profit of 750K. So if this business sells for, and you can see here, we've guessed that the business is going to sell for 1 to 4 times a multiple. So what I'm going to explain to the business owner in this first case is that your business, if your industry, and we don't know this yet, and that's part of what we work with clients in doing, is establishing what the actual industry range is. But let's say it was 1 to 4, then your business at the lower end could be valued at $750,000, and if it was at the higher end, it could be valued at 4 times 750, whatever that is. What's that? 428. Well, let's just say it's up around about the 3 mil, is it? So it's going to be up around this way. So what's the difference of whether or not you valued down this level or valued up here? And what we do is we've got down here a set of criteria that we go through with business owners that's going to determine exactly where you are on this line. So if we ask you all these questions and you perform very well on those questions, which is a risk analysis, a potential risk to the end user, then you're going to be what we call an A-grade client, and you're going to be valued at the top end. If you fall short of that, you're going to be a D-grade client and fall down. So we'll go through and explain that sort of process with a client, and we'll just take the client through that just at a high level, get them to fill in some numbers up here. Then we'll ask them about their personal and family goals. We'll ask them about their shareholder alignment, estimated net proceeds. We'll educate there, the desired future income, personal net assets at exit, their estimated future income, combined assets, and we're going to talk to them about their wellness. We're going to educate that the majority of business owners that exit in the baby boomer category profoundly regret their decision. That's research from the Ex-Planning Institute. So we'll pull up that research and we'll sort of talk about how important that is. At the end of that process, I can guarantee you that your client is got the wow factor. Your client is going to understand all the things that they need to do. And they're going to understand that, especially on this side of the equation, when we, on this side of the equation, on the right-hand side, the way that we explain this is the same grid, so we haven't got time to explain it too much, but what I often say to clients is, what's the point of getting your business? So the most valuable businesses are in this top right quadrant. So these two bubbles here is where you are now, and this is your value enhancement process of what you need to do to improve your value of business. Well, what's the point of selling at this top end if you're only going to end up with that much dollars because you haven't done effective tax planning? So that's no good. I said, well, what's the point of selling at this top end, and what's the point of ending up with that much dollars if effectively you're unhappy at the end of the process and you're not enjoying the fact you've exited? So these are the sorts of things we go through. All of this is described in detail in our manuals. We follow up and do lots of training. We've got a ValueMax certification course in which we go through and we explain in detail all of this, and we have detailed workbooks that we can provide to the client. But to give you a flavor, before I just jump into that, I just want to show you, by the way, that's an output. Actually, I'll just concentrate on this for a second. We go through the exit and assessment process. We fill in the one-page exit plan. Great. We got this tool. Fantastic. The client knows what we're doing. We know what we're doing. That's great. And then we sell the client on a project management. So in other words, we start off with a diagnostic and we sell them on a monthly program. And then we have this great tool here, which is the one-page dashboard. And this is what you're going to use each month to project manage your client. And what this has is it's got your major successes, your major obstacles, what strategies you're going to do, and it holds in the system all the KPIs of a client. Because the number one way to improve the profit of a business is to focus on accountability. Focus on business owner accountability and focus on delegation throughout the organization. Focus on a strategic plan and then focus on delivering that strategic plan and cascading it through the organization into KPIs. So what I'm going to do is just quickly jump and show you a couple of highlights. As I said, I haven't got time to go through, but everything is automated. Because as an advisor, you sell on labor. So how can you make money if you're putting all the labor in? You need to automate stuff. You need to impress clients. They're not going to sign up to you unless they're impressed with what you're doing. So a lot of what we do is we'll take information from a client meeting, we'll bring it back, we'll put it in the software, we'll show the client visually. This is the this is one of the grids here that we'll go through and explain to clients that this is the top quadrant, and we need to get up there into that quadrant, and so this is all the things. When we go into our assessments, if I click on an assessment, because it's not just about pushing buttons here, we need to have a real assessment that we can go through. So if we go into an assessment, you can see I've got lots of assessments here, probably too many, but if I click on any of those bubbles, they're all the assessments I've done. I've got this great assessment tool, and this fantastic assessment tool holds. So this is the process you're going to go through in more detail. So I'm going to show them the one-page exit plan, get them engaged, get them guessing where they are, and then say, well, look, we need to do an audit of your business. We need to go through and understand exactly where you are. So we're going to go through and do these assessments. We're going to put in comments all the way through here. So I can put in comments from a client. I'm going to answer whether or not they're prepared or not prepared. Then I'm going to go away. I'm going to leave it for 2 days, 3 days, and then I'm going to press this gap analysis report, and that's going to take all the client's answers and put it into a nice, simple report, word-based report, and then I'm going to send that off to the client. If it's by the way, all these reports will go to Microsoft Word. So I'll just show you how to automate this. So that will now, that's dumped that report. Now this is a 60-page report this. You see how quickly they did that? So this is 122 areas of assessment that we've just gone through with a client, and this has put this into a nice, beautiful report when Microsoft Word opens up. Now, everything is customizable in the report. So we have nice and customizable. Put your client's name, a little bit of a background, and just go down. Look at this. So it's got all your scores here. It's got whether or not it meets requirements or doesn't meet requirements. And then goes through and shows you a radar chart. It educates. It has all the gaps of the business, gives them their total score, shows them all the gaps. And then what we do is we educate in each area. So the reports are full of educational material that goes through. So that's how easy it is to set up an automated practice. Basically, you buy the software and overnight you can automate it. There's so much there. You know, I haven't got time to go through it. This is interesting, this ValueMax education program. We've learnt the art of selling to business owners in groups. So we use workshops to win clients. We've developed group coaching programs. Now, this is a complete group coaching program that you can use, or it's a self-help program. And what we've done is in each area, so imagine you're going through the process, step 1, business discovery, step 2, business readiness, step 3, personal readiness, step 4, business valuation, step 5, exit options. So if I click on exit options, then, you know, and I want to pull up something that's going to explain to the client about exit options, click on exit options here, and I can educate on this in the monthly workshop. Here's my little template. Here are my external options, my internal options. Here's a worksheet that they can fill in. So it's really easy to do. There's some videos in there as well. Yeah, we're after more content for in here. So if any of you want to have some supplied content, we've got the great Peter Chrisman. I think Pete's on this call, so that's why I have to call him the great Peter Chrisman. He is the great Peter Chrisman, but the co-founder of the Exit Planning Institute, does a wonderful job in education. So we've got some really good videos, and we're adding to the videos all the time in the process. So just to summarize, because I think this call's only supposed to be about half an hour. So to summarize some of the things that we're doing. First is that we developed this methodology, the one-page exit plan. You've got I've sent the template off to you to have a look at. It is since we've launched that methodology, it has demystified the process to both business advisors and business owners. I have seen business advisors now that were incapable of selling themselves, not quite understanding the process, not confident, are now totally confident in a process to run with clients. Now we put that into a workbook, and we're selling that workbook. It's a $25 workbook, it's cheap as chips, so it's $200. We've got the ValueMax software. So this is where we really engage clients, our advisors. We sell this to advisors, and that has the ValueMax education. It's got a ValueMax, it's got a gap calculator, which is really cool. Didn't get a chance to show you, but you put in some numbers of your client, and it produces these wonderful graphs on where they are now, where they are in the future. And then at the end of it, you say, well, look, if you build the value of your business over the next 3 years, your business is going to be worth an extra $2 or $3 million, and my fees as an advisor is only 20 to 50K. So do you want to sign up? So and the reports do that. The reports are, they all contain hidden psychological pullers. I started a practice, and unlike a lot of you in the group that are accountants that have already got a trust relationship or wealth planners, I was an independent, so I had to learn the art of psychological selling as I built the software company, as we built the consultancy business, and as we built a network of over 80 global advisors that deal in this stuff. And so all the reports have hidden psychological drivers that are designed to earn revenue, to get clients to sign up. And the last thing, I think this is most important as well. We're thinking of doing one closer to the summit as well. We have got a couple of ValueMax certified advisor courses running. One is in Houston on June 15th, and the other one is in San Francisco on June 12th. And that is basically going through in detail the one-page exit plan. But I want you to imagine that one-page exit plan is like it's like the triggering event. It's like how do you implement Pete Chrisman's master plan? It's like in Chris Snyder and the X Planning Institute's Value Acceleration. It's like the triggering event and the discovery process. And if you're a SEPA and you've been through the SEPA course, the one-page exit plan methodology is like a beautiful summary of everything you've done over the last 4 days. So Drew, that's me for the 30 minutes. The way to get in touch with us, that is our website, maus.com.au. This is my personal email address, hick@maus.com.au. I only give this out to special people, so consider yourself special, my email address. But that, I hope that gives you an idea of what we're doing, and and we're very excited about the one-page exit plan and just trying to change a little bit and help to educate as many business owners as we can, and to do that through our advisor network. That's probably it, Drew.
Perfect. Thanks, Peter. For everyone still on the line here, Peter will be obviously at our summit in September, so you could get a chance to talk to him face to face and kind of go through maybe more in depth with him then. But if you don't want to wait until then, obviously you could reach out to him via email, or if you want to send me something, I'd be more than happy to connect you and send it over to Peter and connect both of you on a call or something along those lines. But obviously MAUS is a huge, not only a sponsor for us at the summit, but we like to use their software and promote them as much as possible with our SEPAs. So the software that Peter built really reflects what you go through in SEPA. So it's very beneficial as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and we can conclude the webinar today. Peter, thank you for getting up early your time and spending some time with us. Greatly appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Drew. Thank you very much.
And everyone, have a good rest of the day. I'll be sending out the recording later today. So everyone have a good day and a good rest of the week, and we will touch base soon.
Great. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it.